First, it was Operation Economic Fury, where Scott Bessent seized all of Iranian funds that were overseas in banks in their neighboring countries, for example, basically making sure that they had no access to any of their direct finances. Well, today he unrolled and launched Operation Economic Outcast, and he likened it to attacking the Nazis in World War II. Specifically D-Day, and in this case, this was an economic D-Day for the IRGC, and this was basically targeting all of the countries and companies and people that are still doing business with Iran. And so this does include all countries that have a land or waterway border with Iran. So the Caspian Sea and all countries that touch the Caspian Sea that happen to do transitory business with Iran. That includes Iraq, that includes Turkey, that includes UAE. UAE went ahead and severed all ties just last week. That also includes Russia and everyone's most asked about country, China. Now, these sanctions didn't actually start today. It started the clock of which each country has their own timeline that the Trump administration did not roll out. That is apparently confidential or secret, but each country knows, each entity knows what that timeline looks like. And he did say that at the end of the week, a major bank will be named as a bank that will be sanctioned. Now, many people will say that sanctions never work, and this is not really true. Sanctions aren't meant to just change behavior, which they do. They slow down the production capacity and capabilities of countries and turn them into pariah states. Just look at Cuba, just look at North Korea, look at Venezuela prior to our liberation of it. But sanctions alone don't collapse governments and they don't remove dictators, but they do make life in that country extremely anemic, and that is what is going to continue to happen. This is a part of a larger boa constrictor strategy where we are just slowly tightening the noose around the Iranian country. Right now, we control one half of the Strait of Hormuz, and we're still getting ships out every day. On top of that, you have alternative routes making up approximately anywhere from 10 to 16 to 20 million barrels of oil every day now. Now, that, of course, has to continue on for quite a long time to replace any kind of losses, which is part of the reason why prices are not going to come down right away. But we are, again, slowly but surely arresting control of the strait from Iran and any kind of economic or military maneuvers that they are going to try and conduct. And so this is that third strategy that people like Professor Pape don't want to mention because it destroys their entire narrative that there is some sort of dichotomy of choices where we either go full on an invasion or we retreat and give power over to the IRGC. This is a third approach, is longer term, but it is sustainable, it is manageable so long as we have the political will and the global economy is managed well enough. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. But he made the case very well about the fact that the IRGC has been at war with the United States since its inception, and all we've done is placate to this regime. And it's very akin to us not recognizing the terrorists were at war with us prior to 9/11, and then that launched us into a 20-year-long war and occupation. We are basically making sure that we don't have to do that with the IRGC by approaching them with this third option. And so, very similarly to the USSR and how it just collapsed without any kind of shots fired, where the troops just gave up and opened the gates and people started flooding into the West, very similarly, that it could be a potential outcome in the near or not too distant future with Iran and the IRGC, where the whole thing just kind of collapses, not because of just sanctions, but because of everything combined collapsing in on it itself. And so that is the current approach. And I feel like all this is very much encapsulated in one singular sentence that he made in this 15-minute long speech that I'll play for you now.
For decades, this regime has drawn strength from a calculus that regards Iranian retaliation as certain and American enforcement as negotiable. Under President Trump, that era is over.
I don't know about you, but out of all the conflicts since World War II, this one seems like the most similar to fighting the Nazis, because the IRGC truly is an evil regime that shouldn't have been allowed to thrive and survive for this long. And it's high time that they get removed from this earth one way or another. And this is one way that we are attempting to do it without sacrificing American blood and a very minor treasure in comparison to what we've spent in years past. And I personally feel like it's worth it so long as we have the political will to continue going down this road. But what say you? What do you think we should be doing? Let me know in the comments.